Yo, it's that time again. Video time for the hooligans. Was that weird? Because I kind of like that. But I got some stuff to get off my chest today. And this is as close to a captive audience as I can manage legally. So, with no more fancy dancery, here's what's going down. I got 4 takes for you today. And what I need you to do is hear me out. And then go in the comments and let me know which takes were hot and which ones are not. Starting with a number A. Listen, if you like Hiruzen and you think he put up a valiant fight against Orochimaru before heroically sacrificing his life to save the village, you're wrong. He barely puts up a fight. He less sacrificed his life and just kinda threw it on the fire for clout. And he did not save the village. The village saved itself. By the time Orochimaru was defeated, they pretty much had everything under control. Not to mention Jiraiya was there dicking around with a snake I'm sure he could have defeated in like a second or two, but this isn't about him, it's about Hiruzen, who, let's face facts, did a terrible job facing Orochimaru. First off, before the fight even starts, there are a few instances of the fake Kazekage just staring into Hiruzen's eyes and Hiruzen just kinda digging the vibe. Already that's bad deductive skills, because if you ask me, this look only ends in physical contact. You pick the context. And during the fight, my man Hiruzen, the professor, said to have learned every learnable jutsu in the village, pulls the shuriken tile jutsu out of his deck like it's the heart of the cards. And I'm not saying he had to use all the jutsu he knew or even a fraction of them, but if you're telling me these were the best jutsu in his arsenal, then it makes sense why he thought his only option was the Reaper Death Seal. And speaking of which, it doesn't bother anybody that is just a bad jutsu from a combat standpoint. Like, I've made this point before, but it'll never cease to amaze me that I'm the only one who thinks this. But if you have enough chakra to pull this jutsu off, and enough willpower to pull the opponent's soul out, you probably could have just won outright without resorting to that. Plus, he split his chakra not one, but 2 ways to seal Tobirama and Hashirama. But this was before anyone knew or it was even confirmed that the jutsu wouldn't stop if you killed the caster, so with that in mind, it would have been way easier for him to kill Orochimaru with all his chakra. So the fact that his trump card only worked where it didn't matter and was a double-edged sword with both blades pointed one way, yeah, Orochimaru absolutely hardwood smoked his bacon. So, Sasuke lost to Lee before the Chunin exam started, so it makes sense that he would have lost to Neji at that point. But by the time the preliminaries start, I think Sasuke is wiping Neji. And yes, I'm saying that the curse mark took Sasuke from weaker than Lee to stronger than Neji. And honestly, nothing in between the Forest of Death and Neji's match with Naruto says that Neji would have been able to beat Sasuke. And Naruto goes on to beat Neji, and I'm certain that Black Suit Sasuke could have beat Naruto at that point. The only reason he didn't face clap Gaara is because the curse mark started wigging out, and even then he did enough damage to make Gaara unstable and allowed Naruto to win that battle. So you tell me how Neji would deal with a Sasuke who's as fast as Lee, as strong as Naruto, and has long range ninjutsu. I just don't see him doing it. Sasuke is entirely too fast for the 64 palms technique, and the rotation would be a good defense, but that drains Neji way too much. Sasuke would definitely be able to wait him out and then get a Chidori off, so that's out of the question. Not to mention that any chakra points that Neji closed, Sasuke could probably just force them back open with the curse mark, so look, Sakura is great. Not so much in the beginning of the series, or the middle. She has her moments, but she doesn't really shine until the tail end of the war arc, which is cool, but I can't help but feel lost potential whenever I look at Sakura. Like, she could have been a completely different character with the same framework, just based off of making her a genjutsu specialist instead of a bruiser. Like, imagine instead of having nothing to do during the first half of Naruto, Sakura had a good grasp on genjutsu and therefore could at least attempt to do something during any situation, and it doesn't have to be potent, and it doesn't even have to always work, but just the fact that Sakura has something to do would be better than just having her be a background character, and she can even still become the crazy medical nin and still do the power fist stuff. It just wouldn't be her go-to. And imagine we see her training genjutsu with Kakashi, and even getting the best of Sasuke, prompting him to work more on his genjutsu in the first half, cause other than his 2, maybe 3 showings in Shippuden, Sasuke rarely touches on genjutsu, and Sakura was the only one to not get a personal training session from Kakashi. Sasuke got his in OG, Naruto got his in Shippuden, and Sakura got nothing, which I'm not as upset about as I sound, but, you know, the video. Also, Kakashi's use of subtle, suggestive genjutsu with the Sharingan could have translated into a special form of genjutsu for Sakura. Like, before the battle even starts, Sakura places a genjutsu on the opponent where they feel like they're moving slower than they are, which causes them to be off their game. I don't know, man. You make up something. It's just hard to change Sakura's abilities without changing her character, because part of her story is her lack of participation, or more accurately, falling behind Naruto and Sasuke, which everyone was doing at that point, but that's like Sakura's thing. That's her arc. And this kind of becomes void when you realize the light novels and Boruto make her a fucking god among gods with more abilities and versatility than the progenitor of chakra, but I guess that's neither here nor there. Okay, I get that this can be interpreted in a few different ways, right? Like, based off of how Kakashi scales and mental blocks and relativity and yada yada yada, I'm just looking at the battles themselves as proof that Zabuza was nowhere near Akatsuki level. Just looking at the speed at which the fights happen, the scale at which they happen, and the damage they cause and show they're capable of causing completely dwarfed Zabuza's existence. And I'd go as far to say Zabuza is to the Akatsuki what a normal Jonin is to the Hokage. And to prove my point, let's look at Zabuza's reanimation. Kakashi makes light work of Zabuza and Haku while dealing with an entire war, and these were improved versions of Zabuza and Haku, and Kakashi still dealt with them both easier than on the bridge, when he was weaker and mentally blocked. So what does that tell you? Also, Zabuza was part of the 7 ninja swordsmen who were pretty much relative to each other, and Might Dai took out multiple of them. And yes, he had the 8th gate open, but he was also a Genin, and even a Genin with the 8th gate open is going to have trouble against an Akatsuki member, because Lee went to the 5th gate on an unstable young Gar and still lost. You think 3 more gates is giving him the power to take out even just Datara? Well, honestly, maybe. But if that's the case, then I'd say that the 8th gate Genin could have easily killed Zabuza and would still have trouble fighting any of the Akatsuki. But those are my takes. Let me know what you think down below, and like the video, because I got plenty more takes about more than just Naruto, so if this video does well, I'll roll more out. But I hope you enjoyed, because I appreciate you watching, and until next time, peace.
That thunder on me clap, make a nigga think before he act. Have a nigga dying on his back, then we double back. Shooters leaving rubber where you at, that's why niggas never wanna match.